It's a random Monday evening in 2018, where everything changed forever. That evening, I made the most important decision of my life. I decided to turn things around. And on that journey, I learned a lot. In this video, I'm gonna share exactly how I transformed my grades and how I went from being an average student to getting an A on every single exam. And the systems that I've built even helped me today in medical school. So if you wanna get better grades, let's get straight into it. The first step I took had actually nothing to do with studying. It was about understanding something deeper. Why? Why did I want better grades? I had to dig into my reasons because I realized that motivation comes from purpose. Take a moment and think, why do you want better grades? If you don't know why, it's easy to lose motivation. But if you have a clear reason, a big purpose, it changes everything. That purpose will become your fuel. And every time you feel like giving up, you will remind yourself of that purpose. And every time you do, you will feel re-energized. So ask yourself, who do you want to be? What's your why? Once you find your why, your reason to keep pushing, you're ready to move on to the next step. How to actually study. Here's where most people get it wrong. Most of us think studying means reading through a textbook, highlighting important parts, or writing down notes, word for word. That's exactly how I used to study at the beginning. I thought the more time I spent reading the textbook and highlighting important parts, the better grades that I would get. And that's partially wrong. I was wasting hours without actually understanding anything. So I started reaching out to other classmates and started researching other ways to study, and found out what I was doing was actually inefficient. And in the process of researching, I found two methods that helped me get a lot better grades. The first one is active recall. That was a game changer for me. Instead of passively reading, I started testing myself. After reading a section, I would close the books and try to explain it, either out loud or by writing it down. It forced me to truly understand the material, rather than just memorizing the words. The second method was spaced repetition. Reviewing information at specific intervals is scientifically proven to improve memory. Instead of cramming, I started revisiting topics over days or weeks. I felt like I was retaining so much more with way less effort. So those techniques completely changed the way I was studying. I was getting better results and putting less time in, but it can be hard to use those methods if you don't have the right environment. Studying effectively is not just about techniques, it's also about where and how you study. I realized that the environment played a huge role in my focus and productivity. So here is what I changed. I got myself a study space. So I set up a specific area just for studying. This way, every time I sat there, my mind knew it was time to focus. Whether it's a desk or just a quiet corner, having a dedicated space can make a huge difference. I also made my study area as distraction-free as possible. I would put my phone on silent or even in another room. That way, I wouldn't get distracted as easily. Consistency was one of the hardest things to build. There were days where I didn't feel like studying, days when it felt impossible to stay focused. But I learned some tricks to keep going. Instead of overwhelming yourself with big tasks, set smaller achievable goals. Aim to study for just 20 minutes. And once you get started, you would often keep going. Small goals will help you build confidence, and it will help you create a habit of studying and staying focused. So lastly, as I look back on the journey, there are a few lessons that I want to share with you. Things I wish someone had told me earlier. Don't strive for perfection. It's okay to make mistakes. Every mistake is a chance to learn and improve. Always aim to do your best, but don't be afraid of making a mistake and getting things wrong. It's alright, it's natural. And it's very important to take care of yourself. Burnout is real. I know so many people who, just study hard for a period of time and then burn out. So take care of yourself. Remember to get your sleep. Remember to exercise, and remember to take breaks and do something completely else than studying. And the last and most important advice, in my opinion, is to stay curious. Don't just aim to pass the exam or to get an A. Try to find something interesting in every subject, because when you're curious, it becomes a lot easier to read about the topic or to do your homework. And it also becomes an enjoyable process. So stay curious. And that's it. That's the journey that took me from getting bad grades to now getting an A on every single exam. It's about doing the hard things and finding yourself a purpose and a reason to keep pushing, even when you don't want to study. It's about building effective habits and sticking to them, and changing your environment and staying focused. Thank you for watching, and remember, improving your grades is something completely under your control. You decide if you want to get better grades or not. You just need the right tools and mindset. And with those things, you can get any grade that you want. So now, go out there and make it happen.